See, we got everybody in the house. Don't know if my Callum's coming tonight. Do we know? Do you know if my Callum's coming out for the Syncopator tonight?
I do not know, sir. I we are live though. I set it up. We're going.
It was sick. Okay. That
I
was
did it.
awesome, man.
I did it. Yeah. Oh man, I appreciate it. I mean, that's Gotcha Gang. All that music was Gotcha Gang. So
It's a throwback. It's classic. All right, so for tonight, I didn't actually have anything put together tonight. So, and it's all right because I think last weekend we kind of did a wrap up of everything, uh, like admin wise or uh, anything regarding GMI really. So, I mean, I have y'all here, so maybe we can just look back at. We were kind of talking a little bit about this on District 420 tonight, but kind of look back at the year and see some of the things that we did really well, and maybe some of the things we should aim to kind of level up on in 2023. I think we were kind of talking about this in our little group chat there earlier, but kind of want to just get your take on everything, um, looking back and also forward looking. I mean, I'll straight up say, looking back at 2022, one of the cool things GMI did that I think was kind of a little unexpected was the oh, hold on, let me chat here. Yeah, one of the things that I think GMI did really well this last year was the community coordination aspect of things. So this became like more apparent later in the year where we did like the turkey chase and we had Secret Santa and those like smaller events. I think are going to be pretty popular. Probably keep doing those. And then the other thing was um, the guild summits. So the guild summit, the artist summit, I think are going to be really popular uh, going forward, and I think we should try and I don't know. I wanted to get your guys' take on it, but maybe like what do you think is a reasonable like interval to have these things? Because it's a lot of logistical like planning and stuff that goes into it. So we want to make them like memorable events. I mean, so we don't have to do them very often, but like, what do you think? By twice a year, quarterly, or like more frequent than that? What are your all? What's your take on this?
I've got an opinion on guild summits, at least. I think twice a year for guild summits seems to fit really well, especially if we're looking at a great battle by Q2 2023. We need to have
Mm.
a new guild summit, a number 2 guild summit, I think sooner rather than later. And then I think probably a retrospective on how it went, what we can do better for next time, how we're going to rebuild would be another great guild summit for later in the year.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like a pre and post attack.
Because this is our first one. We have no idea.
Oh, yeah. It really got me thinking today. Because what did he say? Was it Q3? The Great Liquidators are going to come out.
He said great battle by early Q2. I don't remember Liquidators.
Oh shit.
But
Yeah, so we're looking at probably like April, May, something like that. I bet you they're going to have Liquidators coming out or a Great Battle style event at least. So we got
if that's the case, we have to coordinate. We got to be ready.
Yeah. So like I was kind of I thought maybe February would be a good time to do the Guild Summit. But depends what y'all think about that. Gives us enough time to plan it out because it gives us like all of January to kind of talk about it and maybe sync up with some of the other guilds I see Gachi Mafia's in here. I think just Gachi Mafia, but the Portal Mages. Like I think everybody has a aligned interest in being there for these sorts of things because we can coordinate with each other. So we should try and maybe these first 2 weeks of January we can have a couple sync ups and just talk about not only how we want to like record like live stream the event, but also just like the event itself. And we can do that maybe in the first 2 weeks of January, and then last 2 weeks kind of promote it a bit, and then maybe sometime in early February we do the second guild summit.
Seems kind of tight, just as a gut
Bit
check.
tight,
But yeah,
yeah.
maybe March. I don't know. But
March,
soonly, next couple of months. I think we can start planning it now. We can start thinking about it now and just work out the details as it fits into everyone's schedule.
yeah,
Think
because
about getting a grant ready too. See if we can get a little bit of funding from the DTF for that event as well.
oh, absolutely, yeah. I think so. I mean, we could do it in March too, and we
We
could do it
should think
after.
about it in relation to East Denver
Yeah, I was just gonna
and
say.
what's going to be manageable and what obligations we're going to have before and after. Both in terms of the summit and East Denver.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good point.
don't want to pack it all in too close.
Maybe
Yeah,
late
yeah.
March.
I think we can do it all. We just need to plan it in such a way that we're like not setting ourselves up for failure.
Yeah, that's a good point. I know we gave ourselves ample time the first time around. Like it took us probably, I want to say probably a solid month of planning. I
I'm
think
kind of
last time.
leaning towards doing a summit before East Denver.
Yeah,
And because if we do it after East Denver, it's going to be like, I feel like it'll suffer more. Whereas if we do it far enough in front of East Denver, we'll like really be able to put some time into it if we start on it, soon. And then, we'll have some time between that event and East Denver. So I think that's a goal to have.
yeah, and I mean we kind of have some sort of a template and some experience to draw from the first one, like what we kind of experienced with like the spacing of the speakers and like just the overall structure of it. I think we
So
have
we're
a lot
doing
more
a
to work
guild
on.
summit or an artist summit.
Well, I think we should do both, and I kind of want to know how you would see both fitting in because I think they each kind of address two different things. The Guild Summit addresses more of the coordination aspect between guilds, and that's going to become more valuable, more apparent as we go forward, like into these great battles and more like larger community style events. That's where the Guild Summits are
Yeah,
really
I
gonna.
think we should do a guild summit then. I think guild summit makes sense, and then we should plan for an artist summit. Like, oh, dude, boom, lightning just struck. We were talking during D420 about a music festival. 420, April 20th, Gotchi Music Festival. I don't even know what
Oh
date that
shit!
is, but I just threw it at the board.
Dang,
Gotchi
dude.
Music Festival, April 20th. That
Holy
is
shit!
our artist summit. And I think if we know we have two summits like that, we can plan hardcore now for the guild summit and know what the artist summit's going to be and put it out to the musicians and the artists like, "Hey, get your shit ready," because as long as everybody like gets me music by the time I get back from East Denver, I'll be able to start working on how that's going to go. And everybody really just needs to work on their music and get their stuff ready. And if we're gonna have like you, I mean, you just saw what we do with Zombie Time. So if people even cue us up with visuals and stuff like that, we'll be able to really rock something. Um,
Oh man, this is the right idea. This is, I mean, yeah, I'm down to grind it out like that. And actually, it won't really be a grind at all, really. If we're starting now, like we're right end of December, we have all of January, probably half of February to actually get to plan the guild summit. Is that what you're saying? And then let's do the artist summit after, like enough time after
exactly.
Eat Denver. Ah, okay.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Is let's do the guild summit I don't even remember when the Gotchiverse opened, but if it's close to the year anniversary, that's beautiful, man. But I mean, obviously, Pixelcraft's probably gonna do something, so we don't want to step on their event. But we should do a guild summit sooner than later, and then we do the artist summit. Like I said, 420 coming out of East Denver because East Denver is till April. Oh wait, no, that's a whole month. Yeah, yeah, we have plenty of time if we do it on 420. Because
Oh
I was
yeah,
thinking that East Denver was March 5th, but I mean that it was April 5th, but it's March 5th.
yeah.
So we have like a whole 6 weeks between East Denver and a music festival.
It's perfect.
So let's do
Yes.
it. So yeah, I think like I said, the music festival won't be as hard to plan, and if we already know that we're ready for it, like the artist summit was super easy. I was gonna say compared to the Guild Summit, but the Guild Summit was also the first time we had done it, so maybe this next Guild Summit will be super easy again because we know what we're doing now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But the Artist Summit and the Music Festival just being more relaxed, I think that it will still come off as easy, even if it's slightly harder or whatever in execution. Just because we're
And I
gonna
think
have a
we have a
good
lot of
time.
talent. Yeah, I think we have a lot of talent to draw on, and like I think we can get some really cool media together for that too, like just showcasing fake gotchis that have been created, and
Hell
maybe
yeah.
even some inspire some new fake gotchis to be created, like what happened with the Secret Santa.
Exactly. And also Lynn's posts. Obviously, we have a lot of Lynn's
Oh,
musicians in Gotcha Gang. And, um, you know, I've got a little alpha that I know, somebody whose music we heard tonight is working on some new stuff. So, boom.
nice. There it is. I mean, I think the lens thing could be really interesting, like especially working with the team a little bit because yeah, it's sorry, my thought kind of slipped away from me here. I was basically going to say that maybe we should think about having someone from Lens come and speak. Like we can get some high quality speakers for some of these events because we have enough time to arrange something like that. So that could be uh, that could be really interesting. We should reach out to like I know you got some connections with Lens. I know some people from Sandbox that might be able to come speak. But we could get like some different we can get some different speakers to come out from last time, and maybe get some of the old ones back too. I don't know. Depends on like how we want to structure it. If we want longer slots this time with more speakers, or if we thought last time was fine. Because I know last time we had a few speakers, a few keynotes, but they were long and but they were quality.
I
So
think we can leave some space for some long keynotes and short keynotes. Like, I really like how we did the Guild Summit because we had some longer speeches in the beginning, but then we had a lot of people were just really short, and so I think that that's cool. And I think that it would be cool. We talked about this, I think, the first time around, and we kind of did it, but maybe it would be cool to leave some space for a music panel. Like, we're gonna do
mm,
this in the amphitheater again, and especially now with like the way we have the stream set up, we can run a concurrent stream that has other things going on visually. But doing it in the amphitheater and having a stage will make it really structured, and we could actually have a panel of maybe some a crossover panel of Gotchi Gang Lens musicians.
that would be really cool. Yeah, stuff like that would be really interesting. And we have like a lot of time, ample time to plan stuff like that. I was also going to say something we can do like collaboratively. Our Friday night programming is like evolving so fast. We got all these new kind of program, like this new programming. We got Zombie Time Music Hour. We got the Syncopator, which is a lot more structured within the last couple months. D420. I'll no future now. We should get together sometime, and I got some ideas of kind of brainstorming ways we can kind of elevate our podcast and take that to the next level. But I think 2023 overall is going to be like the year of professionalism, and I was going somewhere with this. I mean, this is what happens when you celebrate, and then you have to talk about shit like this. Is you, it's the other way. It should be the other way around. But
Funny that you said that this is, 2023 is the year of professionalism, and it's like, oh, stoner moment.
yeah, see, I mean, I'm taking what I can get here because I still have another 24 hours before I gotta change anything
You got
technically,
time. You got time, baby.
right? So I'm enjoying myself. Uh, I said I was gonna go dairy free for a year, 2023. Just it's good for your system. I've done it before, and so I ordered like 2 cheese pizzas today. So that's what it's all about. Where was I going with this? We were talking about the Guild Summit and the Artist Summit. We were talking about artists, and I don't remember after that where we're going to go with that. It'll come back to me. So, oh yeah, I was gonna say we've been hanging out with the Whip Meetup guys. We met them a couple weeks ago. It was like a really fun hangout. Uh, kind of a strange ending, but otherwise it was a great experience bouncing through different metaverses. And I feel like we could be the kind of guides, like the tour guides for the Gotchiverse, and maybe somehow I I could talk to Rizzle and see if maybe they want to have the Gotchiverse as one of their like Whip meetup stops, and we could somehow maybe arrange some sort of a hangout integrated into like our Friday nights to make it a fun, just like cross metaverse interactions, other communities, other games, and just kind of show them what the Gotchiverse is about too. So I'm going to see if their group is down for something like that, some sort of collaborative thing between GMI and the Whip meetup people, and see if we can get some like network effects going. But that was just a thought. I want to see what you guys think. Like, what do you think about maybe doing like some collabs with other like groups? There aren't many of them out there that do what GMI is doing, but I've kind of realized that there's a couple out there. And Jesse is the one who told me about Rizzle, and then hanging out with him was a good time. So yeah, more crossover, more better. I agree. Exactly. Got you 15. You hit it on the head there. It's also like getting them to use things like the observers to really show them like, look how easy it is to get in our metaverse. I mean, it was pretty easy to get into Motiverse, right? For those of you who got in there. And actually, that is another thing we can talk to them about is we can get one of those whatever they call them, VP files or whatever, those downloadable 3D files. We should get a bunch of gotchis made up for Motiverse. And so that when we come hang out in their metaverse, we roll up as gotchis, like as we might not have our specific on-chain ones, but we can make a couple models, 3D models. Maybe we talk to Billy Bishop or something and get like some really dope Avagachi outfits for Motiverse. So when we're hanging out there, we're chilling as gotchis. Then we bring them into the Gotchiverse, something like that. But yeah, I'm just kind of brainstorming some ideas. I think we could start doing things like that. I agree with the Z5 sentiment. Zombie, I need to know where you got that camo poncho. That's what it looks like from here. Oh, it's not camo. It's you got wildlife on it. Oh shit. That is cool. He's a respectable man because he still wears a shirt underneath. See, I wouldn't be doing that. I would just be butt naked under that.
Actually, I would be, but it's cold, so yeah, I'm wearing like some really it's like a 32-degree heat like Under Armour basically.
Oh shit. That thing's made by Under Armour? Dang, dude.
No, 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 not the thing. What I'm wearing underneath is like it.
Oh,
No, it's
okay,
32
gotcha.
degree heat, but it's like
It's like,
a
holy shit,
like
man.
long
Under
john
Armour's getting
basically.
creative, man.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an athletic poncho right there,
Basically, yeah. Like, but no, like
Lightweight.
there's the other stream. I've worn this before in a stream. Underneath before, I was basically naked. So there you go. Now you know. If you see
Man.
me in this thing
Y'all.
most of the time, I'm living free. You know.
Nice. Y'all see my. I'm gonna start live streaming myself with a I don't have a camera on my shit. I don't have one on my monitor. I don't have one on my laptop. So like once I get my studio set up and I actually have a reasonable background and everything, I'll feel more comfortable live streaming and stuff. So I'll definitely be doing that in 2023. And so one of the things I was gonna say is y'all gonna catch me in my rainbow poncho. It looks almost identical to the mythical Avagachi one, to be honest. Hey Lev, what up? What up?
I don't know if y'all are.
Yeah, man.
I'm sure you're not watching the stream because you probably don't need to be. But what you should do is make Z5's screen the biggest screen so that you can feel like you're sitting by the fire with us.
Oh, that's Giga Brain shit.
Boom.
I mean, this could be a GMI program. We can make the fire nice and purple and crackly, and just have a GMI fireplace. You actually have to burn glitter to use it. It's token gated, so like, costs you money to burn it. 69 glitter per minute. That sounds like a reasonable rate. Are y'all staking a lot of glitter still, or staking for glitter? I haven't checked my stack in a long time.
I am. I don't. I haven't checked my stack in a while either. So there you go.
Gotta get my bounty going.
The real question is how long until the glitter emissions get reduced, get slashed.
Oh, there's a halving cycle.
Oh, it's more than a halving.
Oh, is it more than halving?
Oh yeah.
I did not know that. Mine it while you can, I guess, right?
So as far as I know, it's 10% this first year, and the remaining 90% over the next 30 years. So in I think 4 or 5 months, the emissions will get reduced by a lot. I'm not doing
Holy
the math
shit.
right now, but it's a lot. It's quite a bit.
Well, thank you for sharing this tidbit with us, because I think a lot of things go over our heads even sometimes, because there's so many details to keep track of. And
This
so
is
thank you for that.
oh yeah, this is what makes glitter a little different than any other asset, I think, in Avagachi, and it's a time bomb. I've heard someone else say it, but I am long glitter for sure. As long as they keep coming up with use cases for it,
I don't see why
that
not.
halving day is going to be it's gonna do something.
Oh man, this is probably the biggest alpha you get tonight. Hey, and I heard you're coming to the Gachi Lodge in East Denver. Is that right?
I am hoping to. Yeah. Well, oh yeah. As far as I know, it is marked in my calendar, and I'm set for it. I'm hoping to do some snowboarding while I'm there in Denver. But yeah, definitely got my invite to the to East Denver, and I'm stoked.
Are you going to be hitting up the retreat? Because I just read they're doing like a whole, like, you catch a bus, you go out to a retreat, and then you can do this, like, snowboarding and whatnot.
Oh
Because I
shit!
know
No,
it's 9 days.
I had no idea it was they were even it was combined. I just I got the icon pass. I like to snowboard, so I figure if I'm going to Denver, I'm going snowboarding at least a little bit while I'm there. Since I know that the event, or my Callium said that they have their lodge. The lodge is good for over a week. It's like almost over 10 days, something like that. So it's a lot of time. It's I don't
Yeah.
think I can do real life DeFi stuff 12 hours a day every day for 2 weeks straight. I probably want to clear my head once or twice and then come back. Everyone else could probably use a break from me too. So we'll see. Who knows?
It's like
It's all
it's
up in
like
the air at this point.
it's like Burning Man, but without burning men, like burning anything. No
Well,
drugs. Well, maybe. And just like a good time, but I think there's gonna be a lot of networking. It's
oh,
gonna
for
be
sure.
good vibes. But I've never actually been to Eat Denver, so it's my first time.
Yeah, neither have I. I've been to Denver a couple times, but certainly not for this. Should be fun for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know how my Callum gets deals like that either.
yeah. I'm not gonna say the number, but it was less than I thought it would be total, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean on that point, I think we're gonna have a lot more. We're gonna see more in real life meetups with Gotcha Gang in 2023. I hope we
Probably.
do. Like I'm stoked to meet you, man. That's gonna be like I to this day I haven't really quite met any. Well, I haven't met any Gotcha Gang in real life ever, and so meeting all of you guys would be like at the top of my list on any given day. So it's pretty cool that
Hell
those are
yeah,
the
man.
first Gotcha Gangs that I get to meet.
It's gonna be awesome.
Hell yeah, yeah. I went to the Crypto Expo, which was 2 years ago in Miami. So it was like the year before this most recent one I was supposed to go to, but I wasn't able to make it. And I met JC Crown, who is an OG member. You see him in the Discord on the top. He's like, admin JC. He's not so active anymore, but it was him and only one other Gotcha Gang member there. But the networking was so fun. I mean, it's you don't get the opportunity to like speak comfortably about crypto in any other situation in life because you find yourself going a little too far for the normies like all the time. You gotta backpedal and start explaining what staking is or whatever. Like
It's like you're starting at square one. There's no base to build off
for
there.
sure. Yeah, but being surrounded by people who are not just like don't just know what you mean, but like know more than you is that prospect is pretty dope.
I mean, you're a DeFi OG, right? Like, I think that's something that I didn't really click. That didn't click for me till today when I think Mike Callum said it. You were a community lead or community manager for QuickSwap. Is that right?
Yeah, I was the second community mod for QuickSwap. Early days. I got in on like week 3 or 4 for QuickSwap.
Oh
And it
wow.
was just like, yeah, just happened to have a friend who is a whale who um, like gave me a tip and I took it and did the research, decided it was a good move, and yeah, moved all my assets to Polygon and never looked back for sure.
It was a good move indeed.
Hell yeah, yeah. But
That's awesome, man.
I after a couple months of modding the QuickSwap Telegram, man, it was a nightmare. Just like, sir, how do I fix my MetaMask? I don't know
Wow.
how to do transactions. Where'd my money go? I don't see it. Like just like vague questions that people needed answers for all the time. And man, Telegram is just a different beast. And Gotcha Gang just in general, like way more helpful, way more knowledgeable. Like everyone here is here for a reason, especially now. You're not talking to anybody in crypto today, like this month in crypto, who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. At least a little bit.
Yeah.
But this was back during like that beginning of that bull run where basically everyone and their grandma is like, "Did you buy the Dogecoin?" You know, like, you know.
Yeah, there's a whole food coin trend, and then there's a dog
Oh
coin
yeah,
trend. It was,
that was the food coin era. It was like the poly scam era, you know, poly whale and all these other like 1,000,000% yield farming that would get rugged in like a week, you know, like one after the other for a couple of months there. So yeah, a lot of reasons why I kind of moved away from QuickSwap in general, and didn't want the smoke, didn't want the heat or the limelight or any of that. And you know, getting into Gotcha Gang in the beginning, I have to admit I was really skeptical. I was like, you know, what am I buying virtual hats? You know,
yeah, my first look too. I had to come back around.
yeah, but you know, it was hypnotizing, and I really never looked back. I didn't, you know, I mean, I was trying to make money in the beginning, but I held on to most of my stuff, and you know, at this point, whatever you're holding on to, you're like clinging to it for dear life. But I'm, you know, especially after today, and even just the last couple months with everything they've been shipping, it's like, you know, I've never been more confident. Like pretty much every time I get any bit of news from Algachi, I'm like, damn, you know, I did something right, you know, or everyone else is doing something right, and I'm just kind of on the right path here
Yeah, but
with
it's a
all you
good
guys.
it's a good point you make, right? Because we're all going to be going to ETH Denver, and so we should all think about what kind of impact we want to make there, because
Totally.
they do have a group of like a very large group of people concentrated there that already know what they're talking about, which makes our jobs a million times easier. Because if we can pitch this at the right angle, I could see a lot of like devs, just like people who have been entrenched in crypto, would be really interested in either acquiring the Aavegotchi or building on the protocol. And so I think that might be the angle for us while we're down there and networking with everybody maybe.
Yeah, for sure. It would probably be in the. I mean, are we going to have some kind of booth there, or some kind of a like public facing thing, or is it just going to be unofficially Gotcha Gang just kind of meeting up at the event, as far as you know?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, there's no official booth yet, but I I don't really know the details on if we can get a booth at this point. We might be able
Yeah,
to.
probably not.
Yeah, it might be a little late, right? But either way, I think we could actually get some funding for the DAO if we're going to approach this in a more formal sense. Like, hey, we're going to go out and on behalf of Avagachi DAO, we'll do a little networking and maybe just spread the word of the Gachi gospel and create a few connections.
Oh
Um,
yeah. I mean, it would
yeah,
be cool to have
yeah,
at least some kind of literature, or like, you know, a QR code so people can check it out,
100%.
or fakes to give away or something like that.
Yes,
Where
stickers.
exactly, where, you know, like somebody could mint 100 fakes, and then we give away 100 fakes at the event. That's not crazy at all, right? And
Not at
we're not,
all.
like you're saying, we're not talking to a bunch of like, we're not appealing to the Tamagotchi side of this. We're appealing to the DeFi side. So we could really, like, you know, present it in a professional way that people are gonna like latch onto, the people that we want, you know, like you're kind of talking about this morning, like the many hands make light work, and we need you know, more gigabrains, to more galaxy brains to be joining the ranks. And you know, this is definitely the place to do it. But it's like, it's how we choose to present it, right? Because if we just are like, oh, you can get a cool hat for your NFT, like, you know, people
No,
are going to
that's
kind
not
of
the angle. Yeah.
scoff over that. That's not really the point, right? I mean, because there's so much else, and it's so well developed. I don't even think people, you know, everyone is kind of in their own community, nose to the book, you know, or the screen, and just like doing whatever they're doing. That, you know, a lot of people don't even want to look outside of their niche. Like, you know, I don't know, the people who are like just building in Solana, like, they're not going to be looking at other networks, you know, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Not like, you know, you want to give people the benefit of the doubt, of course, but um, generally people are kind of like sticking with what they got, and that's what I think this is going to be. It's going to be really exciting for, because it's going to
Yeah.
this is going to be an opportunity for projects to kind of shine, and it'll be a good way for us to kind of see the state of Web3, the state of kind of where
Yes,
other crypto
absolutely.
communities are, because other people are building, but those people who are building are not aware of what we've already built or what our plans are. Generally,
Yeah.
some people
Eh,
are, but for most people, it's a whisper in the distance, and there's
And
they're
I mean,
they're gonna
most,
be there to learn.
yeah, absolutely. And I think most people in this room here, like you said earlier, have at least a basic understanding of the technical aspects of an Avocado. Will be able to explain it really well. Like, Flame, you've created pamphlets before. Bowtied Nerd, we all know you're an OG. OXD5, of course, all the GMI members, that's almost a prerequisite. Goops. Like, all you guys know how to explain what an Avogacci is in the very most technical sense. And that's what we've shied away from typically when we're talking to normies, when we're talking to even new people, crypto users, but not DeFi users. Even that can be sometimes a barrier for people. And so we don't have those barriers at this event. That's something I realized earlier today when we were
Well, yeah,
talking of,
totally. Like
yeah.
like you can say NFT to somebody and they have an idea of what it is, but if you say ERC 1155 versus 721, like now you're talking a totally different language. But the people at this event are going to know exactly the difference between those two and that they're both NFTs. And that's like that's what I mean by like you don't have to have these pauses in conversation where you have to like explain what's a 721 to somebody versus you know not that maybe not everyone in this room knows exactly what the difference is necessarily, but you at least know that you've seen both those numbers before. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah. The technical aspect may not be need to be explained. That's the best part. We can
for
go in
sure.
there and showcase. We can showcase what makes Avogacci unique. Like we could even bring those Soulbound Origin POAP cards. I know No Future, you had a bunch of them that expired, but maybe we can try and figure out a longer time frame or something and have some really cool, like unique, like some of these POAP cards that you guys were distributing at the last one. Could be interesting for ETH Denver to do something like that. What did you find for the user experience? I don't know if you're active like on the mic right now, but if you are, what was your like experience dealing with those cards? Like, were you able to get them out to people? Were they receptive to the like scanning the card, getting the POAP and all that? Like, how was it?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, like you had a bunch of those POAP cards, right? That you took to Art Basel.
Yeah, they gave me a bunch. I mean, honestly, Zombie Shepherd probably can answer this question better. I was like busy shooting video, so I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
give away a single card. I put some up on tables, but I don't know if people actually picked them up or interacted because I was too busy handling the equipment.
Yeah,
Oh,
they were
gotcha.
a
Okay, I
little
didn't know. I didn't know Zombie Ship. Yeah.
yeah, they were a little difficult to use. They weren't working well on my phone. I think a lot of it was people not having great reception. Like everybody there was complaining about their phones not working. But then the other part was so the way the card worked, you had to hold your thumb in a certain spot and then you had to swipe on the card and on your phone at the same time. And I think that there was like if the card moved it wouldn't work right. And then if it was just like it was very glitchy, so I wouldn't know if it was the card not working, the phone not working, the fact that you don't have service, it's just not going to work. So it was
Mm.
weird. But if Lost Local's going to be there, he's going to get us on some stuff. Meaning he's going to like find another crew who's already posted up, and he's going to get Gotcha Gang in there somehow. So we'll probably have some opportunities to give out some stickers and talk about stuff.
Hell yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to think of the angle, right? Because there's three ways we could represent it. We could say, hey, we're just general gotcha gang. Like, we're out here, we're kind of just out here as kind of like a group to
Otherwise, we're
spread the good
backpack
word.
media. We go out there as GMI,
Yeah,
as
exactly.
D420, as From A to Z, and we just get in people's face. You know what I mean? Like, that's what
Yeah,
Bankless DAO does. No lie. That's like Crypto Sapiens and a bunch of people from Bankless DAO. They go out to these things and they literally just like go at people with a microphone. So that's all it takes to be media is the balls to put a microphone in someone's face.
Yeah, and we were talking about this on District 420. Is No Futuristic has at least a like basic setup for like that sort of thing, like live interviews and street interviews, and then there's the ability to just like rent specific equipment as well. So that could be a thing. So I was gonna say the first way, yeah, is just to say, hey, we're Group of Gotcha Gang. The second way is what you just said, where we could go in as GMI or whatever specific groups we want to represent or shill, and go in there and push that. And then the third way would be to say like Avagachi DAO has sent a group of people, and then maybe get some funding from Avagachi DAO, or maybe there could be a combination as well, but kind of want to know. Like, I kind of like your idea, Zombie, with the just being like our individ, like representing GMI, but also pushing the things, the products, and the the programming that you have.
It's easier to do things if you're not afraid that you're representing the DAO or Pixelcraft or whatever. So if you're going in there as yourself, it's almost you're lightweight. Um, but
Yeah,
that would be the difference, I would say.
yeah, no, that's a good point. And I
But
mean, we
if
won't have
you're
speaking spots or anything. So,
Yeah, yeah, and I mean the thing is also it's also like if you do have speaking spots and you do have times when you're officially representing Avagachi or the DAO, then you just make sure to not be GMI or D420 or from A to Z in those moments. It's about understanding your own conflict of interest in context.
yeah, like I'll take off the shaman poncho and then I'll put on the dress shirt
I
when
gotta,
we're in
like
DAO
that's how I look at it going
DAO
between
mode.
different crowds is I gotta know, like I can't go into Bankless DAO and start putting out proposals for Avagachi projects. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like,
But then what is this dude doing, man? This is your off hour stuff
not
for
unless it
us.
makes sense. Like if there's some crossover where
Yeah.
it makes sense for Bankless DAO and Avagachi or GMI, but like, yeah, it's gotta make sense and you gotta understand your own role in these things. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think about representing GMI? Should we get some stickers printed off or some like
Hells
cards?
yeah.
Yeah, I think we should do it. Okay, it sounds like there's a plan coming together. I know Mike Callum probably has his own thoughts about all this,
I mean, I
but
am
seems like
kind
we're
of
on the right
doing
path.
the crossover too with like Lens and Fake Gotchis doing Lone Raffle and Sus, where I'm going to do the animated series on Lens. And so I have talked about that with the Lens team, and that got me talking to them about Avagachi. Actually, some alpha, I don't even know the full alpha, so I'm just going to give you the little bit I know, but like Mycalium and I were contacted by a couple people from Lens saying they want to talk to us about something with Avagachi. So there you go. That's the only alpha I can give you, but
Oh,
there
hey
you
man,
go.
we'll take what we can get.
I'll let you know when I know more.
Oh, that's awesome. And so yeah, going back to just the initial overview there, I think physical in real life events are going to be a big deal and like a big way to grow our channels, to grow our podcasts, uh, to grow our footprint as GMI, but also as individuals. I think it'll be a great way to do some in real life networking for once and get our names out there. Just so much easier to do that sometimes if we go to these big events. So yeah, that'll be good. And then the other thing I was thinking about is for 2023 to think of maybe doing some sort of a long game. What I mean by that is like a kind of like a treasure hunt or kind of like what John Gacci was doing earlier. Some of the things he's been showcasing us kind of tie into this. Like we've been chatting back and forth for the last couple of weeks, and I think we're kind of ready at a point where GMI could build some sort of a really fun like meta game. So it's not quite in the Gotchiverse yet, but it's themed around the Gotchiverse, and there's some sort of a lore or storytelling aspect to it as well. You kind of go through this like meta adventure, collecting different badges and NFTs and stuff. So we should like brainstorm this stuff. I kind of want to get like a team together and like get a proper like budget and actually uh, maybe do a little bit more brainstorming on it and flesh the idea out. But trying to gauge people's interest and see if that's something we could do, because the foundation's done already. Like the chess standard, I was playing around with it the other day in my command line, and it works really well. Like even for someone like me who has, I got limited knowledge with like smart contracts, but I can use them. And it was actually kind of fun, like creating your own tokens, and then you put them in the chest, and then you can loot your own chest, and like you're doing all this through your command line. But you can actually you know apply this to 3D objects. And so John Gotchi's already created like a treasure hunt thing, and we just need to gotchify it a bit and make it more uh, a 30-year crust. Gotchi 15. We can make it happen. Yeah, exactly. But it could be an ongoing meta game that's always going on. And like you said, Lev, we can even integrate like wearables or like AR components. Like it could be this evolving thing that doesn't necessarily have to be in the Gotchiverse. But parts of it could be like parts of this could be if you, for example, had the SDK to work with, and there's objects you have to gather in the game, but you also have to use the AR components and like put them together to actually make it all work. And so like it's a very kind of loose idea, but I think this is something I want to see if we can flesh something out, something more solid around that, and maybe we can apply for some funding if it sounds like a good enough idea. Um, but yeah, maybe I'll open up like a suggestion box or something for that. That was one of my bigger ideas for 2023. But I think a lot of this comes down to who we can get to do these things. I'm stoked for Billy Bishop's game because I think that's going to be a big deal also. Like seeing what he can do there was really impressive, and I'm sure he has many like 3D models we could use. What is this? AR scavenger hunt for wearables. This is kind of the idea here. This is cool. I mean, I think this is almost focused on AR, but like components of it could look something like this. That's awesome.
So this is my friend Gil works for this company Illust Space, and essentially like you interact with your phone or whatever you're using like to as you're going out and about. Like obviously you can spoof your location to be anywhere, but like let's say you can drop any NFT into their map, and then it would like be set there so that you could like literally go and try to find it. That I like, I don't know if they're open to collaboration or if this is even like something we'd want to collaborate with. This is just like what I thought immediately when you started talking about like real life long game type stuff.
Yeah,
And it's not,
absolutely.
it's just an idea. It made me think of this. And it's Web3 as
Yeah,
as hell. So I figured I'd just share it.
I appreciate that. I've actually already bookmarked it. I think I'm going to follow up on this. And you say you might have some like connections with like this is a
Yeah.
friend of yours who's
Oh
created
yeah.
this
Yeah. Yeah.
platform.
Yeah. It's my buddy Gil. We've
Oh,
he's
nice.
he's come to visit me here. We met in Miami. Yeah.
Oh man, this is
Yeah.
awesome. I'm gonna do some digging on this, but like this kind of ties in with what I just said, so I appreciate that. It's awesome when you kind of know like, oh shit, that's the thing. Yeah, I'm gonna dig into this. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, I don't know how far they've improved since the last time I checked it out was probably like almost a year ago, probably. But it seems like they're still building. So something like this, at least it's like some kind of inspiration, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely something we can integrate. And I didn't realize that this sort of thing was already that far ahead. So I was
Yeah,
like,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Everyone's got their nose in the book, man. Everyone's doing their thing, and like doesn't have time to like advertise or look at other shit. Like this.
oh man, this is
That's why
fun.
these events are gonna be like these real life events make things happen
Yeah.
overnight. And that's why I'm stoked. I don't know.
Well, I mean, before you showed me this, I was thinking like something like this might be like 3, 4 years out to get to where it is, what it looks like right here. And so I was kind of thinking in my mind to create this kind of meta game and work my way up to this. But like, shit, this is like, it's already here. It's here now. So
Yeah, it's
maybe
fully
this is something we'll look at.
interactable. Yeah, you can like make it bigger and small. Like any like if you've used the AR and the like Amazon's AR or whatever, where you like put this object in your room and see how it looks, that kind of thing. It feels a lot like that.
Yeah, this would be cool. And the exciting thing about this is we already have people within GMI that are familiar with creating 3D models. And I feel like we might have the right synergies to actually have something here. But I don't know what it is yet. But I appreciate you sharing it. And I'm kind of looking forward to like seeing what this is all about. And I'm definitely going to hit you up about this. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And
Just re-
Bowtide asked about
yeah.
text based stuff. I'm like a huge mud nerd, which is like multi-user dungeons, like the first text-based role-playing games, the first MMOs ever. That's like I love that shit. So I mean, I think there's room for that. I think there's definitely room for that, and it's a lot easier to code text-based games than AR. You know,
Yeah.
but it forces people to use their imagination, text-based stuff, and then it like when you're using your imagination, you build things up bigger, and it makes it even more real. I think than something that's supposed to look real. That's just my opinion. Yeah, you're right. Just text. That's literally it. Just north. You type N and you go north, and that's the amount of coding it needs. Is like what room is north of this room. It's
Yeah,
just
actually there
it's
was a
storytelling.
yeah, exactly. There's this thing my Callum found earlier on. I'm gonna have to do some digging and see if we can find it. It was an AI lore engine where you would actually put in the seed. It was kind of worked like a blockchain. So you put in the seed block of the story, and then each subsequent block, someone could come in and add details to the story, but the AI would essentially publish a block every time. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's how it worked. This would be like this evolving story, people adding things in, but the AI would keep publishing a new block as the story keeps going on. Something, if I can find what that is, I can find. I did digging a while ago, but couldn't find it. So if someone knows what I'm talking about, please drop the link in this chat or just DM it. 'Cause I cannot remember for the life of me what that was called, but it was something we played around earlier on when GMI started, and yeah, don't even know if that person's doing it anymore because things change so fast in this space. But yeah, these are the sorts of things. If they introduce Gachi Mail, that's gonna be a big deal. Gachi Mail is gonna be. Uh, I think you can play games with just Gachi Mail, and goes back to what Bowtie Nerd was saying, is that might just allow just enough for something like that to happen.
I'm sorry, I haven't heard of Gotchi Mail. Can you just describe it in a couple sentences for those who don't?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. This is more of just a concept we've discussed like during the hangouts. This idea that your parcel would have a mailbox on it, somewhere where someone
Uh,
could type a really short message, kind of like a Twitter style, limited character message, and they could deposit it in your little mailbox on your parcel. And then when you can go check your mail periodically, and you might find little messages and stuff in there. So it might be a good way to do some storytelling back and forth, between kind of like a pen pals thing, but might be interesting.
it's cool. That'd be a cool idea. I'm thinking of
Any
like the founding fathers sending each other letters, early day, and then like it's historical, like that.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, like 20 years from now, they'll be sending mail like telepathically in the Gotchiverse. We'll be like, we had to go click on the box to get our mail.
we had to manually confirm our transactions. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, the mail thing could be a really great idea, and it's gonna be these little or big features that get pushed that are really gonna elevate what we can do. Like the arena is gonna be huge for content. Like I can't wait till the arena comes out and we can start doing like ESPN style narrations on like scheduled fights like UFC. That's gonna be really
I
fun.
can't wait till there's professional gamers playing all day long, just like who have developed techniques and like the whole world is fleshed out just because there are active players. It's really all it's going to take, you know. It's going to be epic. I mean, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I think that's for those gamers out there. I think that's one of those things that makes this style of game really fun and exciting is when the meta has to be studied. Like people are trying to outgame each other and try and figure out what the best strategy is, and maybe near the top, the strategies get really they're like really different, but they work really well. Like just people studying how things work is going to be something we haven't had yet. So there's a specific community out there that likes games like this, and once we have the arena, I think it's going to attract those people. A lot of
Oh,
those are like the
sure.
Axie players and like the phone game players and all those.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that Pixelcraft will have like a bird's eye view of all that stuff as well. Like have all the backend data, know exactly which players are power users, what they're doing, how they're playing, and then you know upcoming iterations of the game, version 6 or whatever, as it comes out, is going to just like flip the rules on its head. So all those people have to come up with a different technique, or maybe now their method is like no longer bulletproof. That kind of stuff, because they they have more data than we do. And I mean,
Oh
not that
yeah.
there's much out there yet, but they've like I'm saying, a bird's eye view of like the entirety you know of how people are playing. But I mean, I was definitely not just impressed, but like it gave me a whole new wave of excitement for Avagacci. Just logging in. I wasn't even very good. I have a trackpad on a Mac, and I was like, "Fuck, I gotta get a mouse now. Like, I gotta get a mouse." Like, you know,
Oh
that was that
yeah. I
level
don't
of
know how
excitement.
you play with trackpad on the Mac.
Oh, I
That's
did.
like
I barely did. It sucked, But I could tell that there was like a meta for the game, and that it was, I saw Addison kicking ass, and I was like, all right, well, someone's doing something right.
yeah, there's some skill involved here. It's not just button click, like it's not just button smashing.
Yeah, no, totally. And it's just that was like the most basic bare sketch. First, getting something out just so we can play it. Like,
Yeah.
I have no doubt in my mind where this is heading, and I don't know. I'm more confident in the team than I ever have. Even though like every other project that I've been involved with is in nowhere near the level of community and continuing to put shit out. And I don't know. I don't have to say all this stuff. You guys are all here with me on a Friday night, right?
We enjoy hearing it because like we all say
Yeah,
it, but
right.
we like hearing it from other people.
Yeah, definitely nice to get your thoughts validated by like an outside person.
We're very culty in that sense.
Yeah, but yeah, cults have the truth though, don't they? Don't they have like the ultimate truth? Isn't that the
The
point?
ultimate truth. Is that the curve is forever? Is that the ultimate truth? I don't know.
I hope so. Shit.
This was good. I enjoyed hanging out with you guys. I'm glad you guys made it out to the. This is our last Syncopator of the year, so I think everything will be different on the other side. It's like literally going through a portal. So next time on the other side, it will be a new GMI, a professional GMI. I'll remember what I have to say for these things, and yeah, it'll be great.
Hell yeah.
That's right. Yeah, flame. Well said.
Hell yeah.
Already communicating with
I'm with
beings on
that.
the other side.
More professional.
Definitely GMI. I appreciate all of you. I don't know if everybody was here this morning, but my Callum and I took some time to say something nice about everybody that was there. For I didn't realize it was going to go on for that long, so I'm glad that everybody stayed. But that was cool and unexpected. But if you weren't there, definitely appreciate all of you, and really looking forward to just hanging out with everybody here in the new year. So yeah, enjoy your evening, enjoy your New Year's Eve. Take it easy. We don't have a event tomorrow morning. We don't have an event on Sunday. We're taking the weekend off, so just go touch some grass, drink some champagne, you know, channel some altars, and we'll see y'all next week.
Hell yeah.
Happy New Year, everyone. Peace out.
Happy New Year, everybody. Really appreciate you all spending your Fridays with us and, you know, sitting here by the fireside.
Love it. That was a nice feature.
So, yep, have a great weekend. Happy New Year. We'll see you Tuesday.
Yeah. Happy New Year.